While you beg for attention on glowing screens, the most dangerous men in the world are becoming invisible. They have vanished. And what they are building in the dark will crush your reality. We live in the age of attention prostitution. Every plan, every small victory, every frustration is immediately thrown to the wind on social media. You bleed in public and then wonder why the sharks are circling you. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations that the mind must be an impregnable fortress. But how can you protect your castle if you leave the gates wide open for any fool to examine your treasures and map your weaknesses? Talking too much is a sign of existential weakness. It is the childish need for validation from a world that does not care whether you live or die. Every time you reveal your next move, you dissipate the energy you should be using to execute it. You sell the hide before hunting the bear. Dark Stoicism does not ask you to be a useless hermit, but to understand the strategic value of absolute silence. When no one knows what you are hunting, no one knows where to set the traps. Disappearing is not an act of cowardice. It is an act of war. Becoming a ghost means you deliberately cut off the supply of gossip, expectations, and opinions that others held about you. When you vanish, you force the world to face the silence. And silence disturbs the weak. Epictetus taught us that we cannot control what others think, but we can control the access they have to our lives. Disappearing from the map is reclaiming the remote control of your existence. Look around you. Most of the people you surround yourself with do not want your success. They just want to measure the size of your failure to feel better about their own mediocrity. When you decide to become a ghost, you kill the persona they thought they could manipulate. You enter a state of tactical incubation. In the assembly line of your mind, this is the moment when the gears stop making noise to the outside world and begin to crush your own weaknesses internally. It is in the darkness of your room, far from parties, far from idle chat and cheap compliments, that true steel is forged. You must cut the invisible bonds that tie you to the approval of others. Let them think you failed. Let them think you gave up. Foolish pride wants to prove something now. Dark wisdom knows that time will deliver the final verdict. Isolation terrifies empty men, but it is the feast of the strong. In absolute solitude, there are no masks. You are forced to look directly into the eyes of your own demons. And if you do not break, you become indestructible. There is a brutal difference between being abandoned and choosing isolation. The abandoned person suffers from the lack of others. The Dark Stoic uses isolation as a laboratory of power. Seneca warned us that mingling carelessly with the crowd always brings contamination to the soul. Every person you listen to, every superfluous drama you absorb, leaves a stain on your mental clarity. When you clear the environment and remain in absolute silence, the dust settles. Only then can you see things as they truly are. Strategic isolation serves to recalibrate your weapons. It is where you analyze your financial weakness, your physical frailty, and your lack of focus without the comfortable excuses that society offers. New life, every hour of isolation is a concrete block in the foundation of an invisible empire. Do not be afraid to walk alone for a while. Wolves hunt in packs, but eagles rip through the sky in sovereign solitude. Comfort is the opium of the weak. It is in the pain of unseen effort, in the exhaustion of the late hours that no one sees, that your true empire is built. Stop crying over what you lost and focus on what you are forging. Want to know the price of becoming dangerous? It is the price of silence. Stop explaining yourself to those who do not bleed with you. Let them see only the result, never the process. In the pitch black, your eyes are forced to adapt to the darkness. The same happens to your mind. When you eliminate the noise of the outside world, your perception becomes as sharp as a blade. This is the moment of reconstruction. You do not rebuild your life by posting motivational quotes. You rebuild it by paying your debts in silence, training your body to exhaustion when no one is watching, and studying the mechanics of the market while others sleep. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that life is more like wrestling than dancing. It requires a firm stance, ready for unforeseen impacts. Reconstruction in the dark does not seek popular acclaim. When you emerge from this phase, people will notice that your voice is colder, your eyes more focused, and your presence more commanding. They will try to understand what happened, but the answer will be locked in the grave of your ghost period. The game has changed. You did not return to compete. You returned to dictate the rules. Those who knew your weak version now face a ghost who has learned to master his own chaos. The ghost does not remain in the darkness forever. He returns, but not as the needy creature that left. He returns as a sovereign of himself. Epictetus's dichotomy of control is now etched into your skin. What others say does not matter. What destiny brings is fuel for your fire. You have become immune to the mental games and cheap manipulations of society. You look at the chaos of the world with the icy stare of someone who has already faced the worst kind of darkness, his own weakness, and won. The operation is complete. Your armor is sealed. There is no room for victimhood. There is no room for regret. The axis has been restored, and now you advance with the inevitable weight of a mountain. If you crossed this portal with me and stayed until the very last second in the pitch black, your journey has begun. Write our tactical signature in the comments right now. I am awake. Let the weak be confused. Their time is up. Yours has begun.